Hi BookTube, it's me again, and this is my wrap-up for January 2014. This month I have read 18 books so far. I still have until Friday, which I think I will be able to read 20. So 2 more books by Friday. I have reviews for all of these books on Goodreads. I am currently reading Fallen in Love, a novella by Lauren Kate. I'm halfway done. It is kind of like a wrap-up of some of the love stories. You get to see Shelby and Miles. At the end of Rapture, you kind of get a hint that Shelby and Miles are smitten with each other. So there's these different stories in here that kind of give you a play-by-play on how that romance came to be and who loves who and everything else. So that's the one I'll be reading. I'm also thinking of reading Insomnia before the month is over. It is 350 pages, and so we'll see if I'll be able to finish this before Friday. I have a checklist in front of me with things, you know, highlighted. Like I said, I've read 18 books so far this month, and it's a little daunting. So the first book that I read this month is Shade. I'm going to try, Vanna White. I'm going to try and put books here above my hand, and we'll see how that goes. But I did read Shade, and that book is by Jerry Smith Reddy, and it's about a girl who, her name is Aura, and she was the firstborn to the post-Shade. That's what they call it. So she was born, and then everybody after her who was born after her sees ghosts, and that means that everybody before she was born, adults and everything else, can't see the ghost. And in this day, in her time, the government has taken over, and they have like quarantined ghosts that have gone rogue, and these ghosts are called shades. So not all ghosts are bad, some are good, and the ones that do go bad, the government collects them, they put them in some kind of holding cell, and they expect everyone post-Shade, which is everyone post whoever was born after Aura, to also participate in the collecting of bad ghosts when they get older. So that one was a very interesting book. It's one in, I think, a trilogy. I'm not quite sure. The book was intense. Like, I didn't expect it to be so fun to read, because the first couple chapters was really like iffy. The next book that I read was Scary Children, and that book was so cute. It's a middle grade book. It's by Katie Towell, and it's about 3 girls who are in a boarding school. They all come from different backgrounds, but all in all, they're there for a reason. Their parents think that they'll be better off if they're at this school. There is Adeline, Beatrice, and Maggie, and they all have something creepy about them. Everybody in the school hates them because they seem creepy, and what's her name? Mrs. Merriweather, which is the head honcho of the school. This is an all-girls school. She can't stand these children. And there's another kid named Stefan, who they all help to solve the mystery of the scary carousel that ends up showing up in town. I don't want to give too much of the book away, but it's really good. It's about a boarding school. It's about 3 girls. It's about this creepy guy, and they just have to find out what happens at the end, and then they may or may not become heroes. Just maybe. Yeah. Okay. Next book I read was If I Stay, and I didn't read it. I listened to it on audiobook, and I wish I could have read it instead, just because the narrator was so good, and when she read, she had so much emotion in it that it really made me start bawling. And I don't like reading books that make me cry. If it's like, you know, all of a sudden I start crying because it's a happy love story, I'm all for that. But really, really wretched snot bubble crying, I don't like. And this book is about Mia, who gets in a car accident with her family, and she has to decide whether she wants to stay in this world or if she wants to pass on. I don't want to give too much of the book away, like I say in every single review, so I'll just leave it at that. It's heart-wrenching, and I've had a family member who was, who passed away, and it was like, it just brought back memories of that. It was torturous, the whole, hospital thing and being sick, and so it really touched me. And Gail Foreman, who writes the book, is an amazing storyteller, and I think there's a second book after this, which kind of makes me scared to read because this one was so sad, but it's kind of, at the end, it's kind of heartwarming, and so it makes you, really think about life in general and what it means to be in this world. What do we have? 1, 2, 3. The fourth book that I read this month is The Unbecoming of Meyer, Dyer. There's the cover, maybe not. Maybe I'll just have words. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so everyone has talked about this book. I had seen so many people review it. I never got to, go through the spoiler part, but it seemed so intriguing. And at the same time, I thought it was just like a ghost book. Like, I didn't fully listen to it because I don't like knowing anything about the books that I read. I just want snippets. It's about vampires. It's about werewolves. It's about ghosts, angels. I just want the subject of the book. I don't want to know anything else. That way I am fully invested in the book. And Mara is a junior in high school. She gets in an accident with her friends, and they die. I think that's part of the front cover, so I'm not giving too much away. And then so she moves to this new town, and everything, this shit hits the fan kind of thing, happens when she arrives in Florida. The boy in the story, oh my gosh, please say I have it in my notes. Noah, I think that's his name. Okay, back when we first started reading, or when this huge YA craze happened, everyone was in love with Edward because he was supposed to be the man of the hour, dreamy guy. Noah beats him hands down. This guy is hot. I mean, and not because he may look hot, and I can't remember because I've read so many books this month, the description of what he looks like. But I do know his mouth, his words, the things he says, the sarcasm and the wit is hot. Just between me and my husband or me and my friends, I like hearing that kind of speak. I like talking to people that way, where you don't take things seriously. And it was so fun to read, and I cannot wait to read the second one. And I know the third one came out this month. Is it this month, or it's coming out this year? I can't remember. I wrote it down somewhere. But this series is amazing. So please, you have to read it. Must, must, must. Okay, the next book that I read was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I read the regular book last year. It was amazing, by Ransom Riggs. I loved it. And I kind of wanted to read the graphic novel, kind of get me in the mood to reading all the rest of the graphic novels that I read this month. All right, the next book that I read this month is Paper Valentine, and it's about a girl who, her best friend dies, and at the beginning, pretty much right away how she died. It's in the first couple sentences, you just realize what happened. Basically, her and her best friend one night decided to play with a Ouija board, which gives her the ability to see ghosts, and that helps her solve a few murders. It helps her solve murders at the end of the book. The next book that I read was The Body Finder by Kimberly Derting. The first book in, I think it's 3 or 4 stories. And oh my gosh, this was a 5-star for me. Thank you very much. I will be buying these books. And it was extremely, extremely good. So, do I have a name for her too? I do not. Violet. Haha! Okay, so Violet is 8, I think, the first time she finds a dead body. And her parents know about it. Her uncle is a cop, and he knows about it, but she hasn't told anybody else. And in the book, she comes across another dead body, while she's in high school, and realizes that there's a serial killer on the loose, and so she has to help catch the killer. book is The Madness Underneath, and that's by Maureen Johnson. The first book is The Name of the Star. That's the book's title. And that's a book about a girl who moves to London with her mother and father. They're teachers, and so she moves to London and stays at a boarding school there. But the first book was really good, and the second book was just a continuation of her doing the job of finding more killers. We're going to get on with the books that I haven't returned yet. Okay. Anyas Ghost by Vera Brosgol. So Anya is walking in the woods one day and falls in a hole, and she meets this girl here, and the girl sneaks a bone into Anya's bag, and so she's able to follow Anya for the next, couple weeks or whatever. She goes to school with her, she goes home with her, and they become friends, and then Anya realizes what kind of person she really is, and then she tries to, get rid of her. It was cute, and if I can kind of show you the pictures, I love the drawings. They're so funny. I mean, this is the face that I give my children when they don't stop arguing over things. I hate. Stop yelling! And that book was really good. All right, I'm running out of time. Okay, so the next book was, where am I at? Night Circus. The Night Circus. So I have this book on Kindle. I asked my best friend to buy it for me for my birthday last year, and she forgot, and then so she sent me the Kindle version, which is good, but not the same. Okay? Kindle's great. You can hold a whole bunch of books on it. It's amazing. I have at least 200 free books that I plan on reading this year. Maybe, probably not, but I have 200 books that I want to read sometime in the future. And it's great, but I wanted this gorgeous, cover. I wanted a hardback. I wanted to see the dust jacket and see what the spine looked like. And I didn't get it. I got it on Kindle. I am appreciative. I'm happy. I have it. It's great. But I decided to listen to it on the CD version from the library because, what's his name? Jim Dale. Jim Dale, the narrator of all of the Hogwarts. Losing my damn mind. All right, Jim Dale. He narrated all of the Harry Potter books. He's amazing. He won a whole bunch of awards because his voice is God. His voice is so good. He can do any character. It could be any accent, and he's just amazing. So, Night Circus. I keep going on tangents. You guys are never going to watch me again. Night Circus is about two kids, Cecilia Bowen and Marco, what is his last name? Alistair, something like that. Anyways, they come together to play a game that their parents have put together for them. They don't know how this game is going to work out. All they know is the venue of this game is a circus. The circus is magic. It's got a whole bunch of wonderful tents. Please read my review because I'm going to be talking about it so much more in detail in my review on Goodreads. If you want an extended review, let me know. But Erin Morgenstern, who's the author of this book, is so amazing in my mind. I died. I literally died. I mean, the creativity that you need in order to make all of these different tents and what goes into the tents and the whole gameplay and the characters. It is so good. I can't say any more on it. It was just so good. Next, I read Going Bovine by Libba Bray. And this title, Libba Bray, I'm sorry. This is the dumbest title I have ever heard. And the only reason why I picked it up is because Katie Tassick had it on her bookshelf. And again, Going Bovine, it doesn't make any sense until you read the book. And then you're like, oh, that's funny. It's funny. And then this dude is the funniest thing in the entire book, okay? You have to read this book strictly, I mean, if anything, for this gnome, okay? He's a Viking gnome, and he goes to parties, and he wants to kick people in the face and in the balls. I could say balls, because I have boys, and I only have boys. So, balls. He wants to kick them, okay? He's a mighty warrior Viking dude, and he's funny, and this whole book is hilarious. I was going to show you, like, there's pictures, but there's not. This book was so funny. And you know what's sad? Is that it's not about something funny. She took an important issue that would be super sad and made an entire adventure book out of it. And at the end, I thought I was going to be totally sad because the ending didn't go with the plans that I had in my head. But it was okay. And it was a good ending, and I liked it. And I love Libba Bray, and I am excited to read The Diviners because her writing is amazing. All right, next book is Keith. This is by Holly Black. The first book, I believe, is called Kin. I can't remember what the third book is, but it's on my request list for the library. And I liked this book. It's about, what's her name? What is her name? Rue. God, I'm sorry. Her name is Rue. Her mom is a fairy. Her dad is a human. And these pictures are ugly as shit, okay? There are pictures, there are manga that you read and the books are so cute and you just want to eat them, and then there's these pictures. Like, look at that face. It's like, the book was good, the story's okay, but the pictures you want to gag, okay? And I'm sorry, who did that? Ted, I'm sorry. I don't like your pictures, okay? I'm surprised. Fairies are supposed to be pretty or scary, but not ugly. They're supposed to be beautiful and deadly sometimes, but not horrible, disgusting monsters, okay? Well, that's my opinion. Anyways, the next book I read was Amulet. And you want to talk about eating books? Cute, 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 okay? This freaking guy is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I love rabbits, and on the top of my bookcase is a rabbit that I've had since the 6th grade. Oh my God. Do you see how awesome I am? I turned to the book. I didn't even know this page would have the rabbit on it, and it does. And I can't remember his name right now, but he's totally cute. And the entire book reminded me of Howl's Moving Castle. And I can't even think of the director's name right now, but he also did, it's my kid's favorite story. What the heck is it called? Ponyo. I own that movie, and I've seen it about 100,000 times, and it's adorable, and I love the drawings, and these drawings are kind of, not fully similar, but kind of, and they're cute, and the story was good, and it's about two kids, brother and sister, who move to a new house with their mom, and they end up going after their mom when the mom gets kidnapped into a whole new world, and they have to save her. The whole book is, and this is just book 1. I don't even know what happens in book 2. It's going to be so awesome, but the pictures are beautiful, and I want to continue on with the series. The next book that I read, okay, this was the first manga that I read before I got to the rest. So this one was, and I love, oh, how I love Alice in Wonderland. I love Alice in Wonderland, and these pictures are like the quintessential Japanese. This was so good. I didn't know what it was about, and so Alice goes down the rabbit hole like in every Alice story, but this one, everybody in the entire kingdom falls in love with her. And the only way she can be free of Wonderland is if she fills up the bottle that she drank at the beginning, if she fills up the bottle to the top. And the only way she can fill the bottle is by interacting with all the people in Wonderland. And that's really hard if everybody is falling in love with her and fighting for her. And I don't know if I can find a picture of it, but oh, let's see. There's no guns. I don't want to do this all day. Here we go. This, well, this is a violin that turns into a rifle. Anyways, so all of the people in the book shoot each other with guns. Like, everybody just kills each other. It's crazy. And like I said, this is the first manga I've ever read, so I didn't know you start from the back. I didn't know you started from the back of the book. Oops, I'm doing it again. Yeah, so you, I mean, I know my husband told me when I was little that Asian books you read from the back. And then, so you read from the back, but you also read from left to right. And then so you're reading like this. So I was really confused the first couple pages. I was totally lost in the story. And I realized my mistake and I fixed it. But that one was good. The second one I am getting in a few weeks. All right. I'm almost to the end. Shutter Island. Have you guys seen this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? You should watch it. Now here's the difference between movies and books. Because I watched the movie, I could watch the movie over and over again, even though I know the ending, because watching something is completely different than reading it. Somehow, I don't see myself reading this book again. It was creepy. It's a mind F. I don't want to say the word out loud in case any kids are watching this, but it's completely twisted. Like, you go in thinking one thing, and then at the end, it's totally different. And the thing is, even though I watched this movie a few years ago, I forgot pretty much the whole ending. So it was like, oh, I kind of knew what was going on in the middle. And then at the ending, I was like, what? Like, I totally forgot that happened. And it was crazy. And it made me think I was crazy. So the whole time, I'm like, what? What's going on? It was good. You should read it. I don't think the one that I bought up there, because this is the one I borrowed from the library. And then I bought the book thinking I would like it enough to keep it. But I might re-gift it to somebody because I don't see myself reading it again. All right, the next book that I read was The Coldest Girl in Coldtown. Now, after reading Shutter Island, and I was reading these both at the same time, I just couldn't, for some reason, get into this book. Now, this book is amazing. I loved it. I recommend everybody read it. But the first couple chapters were slow for me just because I was reading something else. And this book, you have to read by itself. You have to immerse yourself in it and love it the entire time. Basically, Coldest Girl in Coldtown. It's about a girl who enters Coldtown. And you have to find out what happens to her while she's in there. And this is a standalone book. So I could do a review on it. It was amazing. She meets some wonderful characters that help her along the way. She's so badass. She knows that she can do stuff. She, her sister loves her. She's 12. She goes to Coldtown too. And the book. I can't describe the book without causing pain to others who haven't read it, because I want to spoil the crap out of this book. It was so good. So thank you to all those that said to read this book, because I did, and I loved it. All right. The next book that I read was also an audiobook, and that was Speak. Now, Speak's written by Laurie Halse Anderson. I don't know if all of her books are going to be like this, but it was kind of like a moral kind of story. It's a teen conflict story. You know exactly what happens in the first sentence. And I hate reading about these. And I didn't know what this book was about. I didn't know it was about rape. And that's like the worst. It's the worst thing for me to, and this has never even happened to me before, but the feels that I have for other girls who have gone through this, or women who have gone through this, it makes me angry as a woman. You know, I get so mad. So the entire time I'm reading this book and she doesn't say anything, it pisses me off. It makes me want to claw someone's face apart. Like, say something. And maybe that's the reason why she wrote this book, to get people to really think about the about rape and what kind of turmoil these people are in who don't speak up. But I mean, I liked the way she wrote it. I liked when she says principal, and she gives all of the teachers nicknames, and the person who attacked her she calls the Beast, or It. I liked the writing, but I don't like the subject, and so I gave it 3 stars because I don't want to read about serious things. I want to read to escape reality, and maybe that's ignorant, but that's the reason why I read. I have a life. I live it every day. And having children and having a job and having chores, you want to escape that kind of stuff. You want to escape dinner making and scrubbing the toilets and serious things that happen on the news all the time, because the news is the devil. I don't want to hear about sad stories. I want to hear about vampires. And I want to hear about cute pink bunnies that help rescue moms. Like, I want to hear about happy things. Last book, I just finished this today. It's A Want So Wicked by Suzanne Young. The first book is A Need So Beautiful, and it's about a girl. A Need So Beautiful is about a girl named Charlotte who finds out that she's called a Forgotten, which is kind of like an angel, but not really. And because there's no heaven for them, they just die. Their whole lives are lived to fulfill the needs of others. So they bring them into the light. They give them hope. You know what I mean? So that way they can like continue on with their life. And then once the Forgotten has fulfilled all of their needs, like their quota of good deeds for their lifetime, then they have to choose whether they will die, which means that they have to give themselves to the light by, I don't know. The only example that they have in the first book is jumping off a bridge. So I don't know if they have to jump off a bridge all the time, or if they have to just say it out loud that they're ready to die, and then they die. And then in a Want So Wicked, they talk more about the shadows. So the first book, needs are done by the unforgotten, by the angels. What they're doing, all of their good deeds or their quota, is called a need. Whereas the shadow, those people that choose not to die at the end of their lifespan, they turn into shadows, and those shadows become monsters, almost demon-like, where their jobs are to tell people to hurt themselves. So they're the ones that whisper in people's ears to commit suicide or to kill people or to do bad things, and those are called wants, which is tricky because you always think about that kind of stuff. Do I need this or do I want this? And needs should always come before wants, right? I think it's called an allegory if you are trying to send a message. I can't remember. Anyway, this book was fantastic. I loved the first one. This one was great too. I wouldn't say that one was better than the other. They were both equal. It was because it's such a short book. It's 200 and what is the last page? 270. Work with me here. Oh, 282 pages. So basically, if she would have just, put them both together and just had like book 1, book 2 in the same book, that would have worked as well. But I like the cover. The other one's yellow. It's really pretty. Basically, that's it. That was all the books I read. Like I said, I will be finishing up this one, which is, again, just the love stories. And then I will be hopefully reading this in its entirety by Friday. Thank you for watching. That was my wrap up. Bye. Boo. No.